All right, this is going to be the first of a series of videos. These are the in-play gameplay videos originated by Scott Nicholson. This is kind of an homage to that, but twice a year I host a mini gaming convention at my house. It's called FloodCon, and this technically we haven't really started because it starts on a Friday. This is Thursday evening, but I had a couple friends come in from out of town, and I had a friend, my buddy Craig, come over, and we busted out a game to play. And the game we played is Spartacus, a game of blood and treachery. Sorry for the move that box a little bit. There you go. And there's the game board. It is a game of, you might think, looking at it, it's just a game of rolling dice and fighting, as far as with gladiators and of course slaying them and thumbs up and thumbs down. But actually, as you can see by Andrew's player board here, there's a lot more going on. You have different cards you play, different schemes and treachery and what have you, and there's some negotiation and of course lots of backstabbing going on. But I'm just going to let you talk to the people that played, and they can tell you what they thought. All right, let's start with Craig, since he won the game. This is my buddy Craig, known him for pretty much my whole life. Craig, what'd you think?
I thought this was a very enjoyable game. As usual, I took even though I love rolling dice, I seem to get hosed over every time I rely on them, so I did my best to just buy victory points, and in the end it worked out with one lucky card draw and the spite of the other players going against each other, leaving them defenseless to stop my inevitable victory. If our friend Jason were here, I played the character that looks remarkably like him in terms of facial expression, which made it all the more enjoyable when I won. The game is very fun in that you can achieve victory points in almost two separate games. There's the arena and then there's the intrigue part of it. And despite how poorly you may do in one aspect, such as losing the titular character in the arena to somebody else, you can do very well in the other aspect. So,
that is right. Spartacus got decapitated, did he not?
Spartacus got decapitated. He should have won that combat. It's not my fault I can't roll dice. I love doing so. I would give this game 2 thumbs up. My only concern is that the arena combat is very swingy. If you don't do well on that first die roll, you might as well just kiss your butt goodbye, because you're not going to last long. As you start losing, it becomes a slippery slope. But it is quite enjoyable, and I would definitely want to play this again.
All right, cool. All right, what's your name? Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Brian. I enjoyed the game a lot. I like the fact that there are multiple victory conditions. I like the betting on the combat. So even if you do have a gladiator in play, you can, although you can't bet against yourself, you can bet in other ways of his untimely demise and still get some money out of it. So I like the ways of generating money that help you bid on other items in the game.
All right, cool. And this is one of my partners in crime at 2d6.org.
Hello. This is Andrew, and no, I had a lot of fun with this game. One of my favorite things actually is the fact that if you get, whoever is hosting the event or the combat has to pick 2 other players, they can pick themselves, and you have to send a combatant to the arena. And so Lance tried to stack the deck against me with his big, beefy fist of doom. So I just threw a slave into the fight and bet that he would become decapitated and made a bunch of money off of it. So that's pretty fun. One thing we did have to pick up on about halfway through the game, though, was how some of the influence cards worked. You don't actually spend your influence points on the card here. The card will have a value on it, and well, that's not a good example. There you go, like an 8. So your influence has to be at least 8 or higher to play it. You don't spend 8 points. And if you're not that high, you can, like if I'm at 6, I can ask someone else to add their influence to mine, and we can kind of make arrangements on how that agreement will work out.
The wheels
exactly.
In this game.
Yeah. A lot of, yeah. So that money can be very vital, because that's how you get better gladiators and stuff too. So yeah, very fun.
Yeah, their opinions pretty much mirror mine. Somebody told me that this was probably the best usage of an intellectual intellectual property type game. They've taken, Spartacus, actually, obviously a very big deal on the old TV. And like somebody said, this is probably the best usage of that property or something like that from TV since Battlestar Galactica, and I'd be inclined to agree with them. It's got equal amounts. There's a lot of luck to the game, obviously, with dice and card draws and stuff like that. But it's definitely a game that you end up. It tells you a story, and you act out the action, and even if you don't win, you're usually laughing and having a good time. So. Yeah, expect maybe at some point I'll do a further in-depth review, but as for right now, I think everybody here...
Have any of us actually watched Spartacus extensively? So we all enjoyed
I've watched the first season.
Okay, so we all enjoyed the game, even though we had no clue as to any of the inside references or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the card names are pretty amusing with the sheer brutality of it.
Yeah.
So that was good. I imagine that the show includes quite a lot of that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I never watched, it's kind of like Battlestar Galactica. I never watched a single episode of that, but I enjoyed the heck out of that game. I've never watched a single episode of Spartacus, but I really enjoyed this, actually. So, all right. So yeah, thumbs up all around for Spartacus, Game of Blood and Treachery. But thank you very much for watching this, and stay tuned for more in-play gameplay videos.
Footage.
Footage. Yes. Bye.